HR Basics is a series of short lessons designed to highlight what you need to know about a particular human resource management topic. In this HR Basics, we explore employee relations, how to manage the relationship of employees with the organization and with each other. Employee relations involves managing the relationship of employees with the organization and with each other. Well managed, employee relations influences nearly every human resource decision made in an organization. At its core, employee relations includes the processes of developing, implementing, administering, and analyzing the employer-employee relationship, including maintaining organizational culture, developing employee engagement, resolving workplace conflict, conducting workplace investigations, and managing employee discipline. At the core of employee relations is the basic concepts of, first, fairness and consistency in the treatment of employees, second, effective communication between leadership and employees, and third, documentation of employment actions. Organizational culture is simply how we do things around here. Culture consists of the shared values and assumptions of how its members will behave. Organizational values are important, and management needs to be specific about the values and behaviors it expects from its people. Employee engagement relates to the level of an employee's commitment and connection to the organization. To me, employee engagement simply means employees are loyal and productive. Employees know what to do and want to do it. High levels of engagement promote attraction, retention, and motivation, foster loyalty, and improve organizational performance and value. Most executives already understand that employee engagement directly affects an organization's financial health and profitability. Although the concepts of employee engagement and job satisfaction are somewhat interrelated, they're not synonymous. Satisfaction has more to do with whether the employee is personally happy than whether the employee is actively involved in advancing organizational goals. Satisfaction is about the employee being happy with their job or organization. Engagement is about the employee being actively invested in their work and the value it adds to the organization. Satisfaction is a broad, attitudinal outcome like organizational loyalty or pride. It is hard to act on, and some facets of satisfaction are irrelevant to performance. Engagement, on the other hand, predicts satisfaction, as well as many other concrete organizational outcomes. According to Gallup's Employee Engagement Survey, only 32% of workers are engaged at work. Therefore, most employers have a lot of work to do to unlock the full potential of their workforce. Employees want to feel valued and respected. They want to know that their work is meaningful and their ideas are heard. Engagement and productivity are affected by teamwork, feeling supported by one's supervisor, information sharing, common goals and vision, communication, and trust. Conflict in organizations occurs when ideas, interests, or behaviors of two or more employees or employee groups clash. This clash can take on many forms, ranging from a minor exchange of words to potential workplace violence. Finding ways to effectively manage workplace conflict is imperative to creating an environment which is positive and productive. Workplace conflict can have many different causes. Sometimes it's a result of conflicting interests, poor communication, or unclear expectations. Conflict management programs are designed to help supervisors and employees to find peaceful and effective resolutions to these types of conflicts and many others. The following ground rules to resolving workplace conflict can be effective as you manage these issues in the workplace. First, set ground rules. Ask all parties to treat each other with respect and to make an effort to listen and understand others' views. Ask each participant to describe the conflict, including desired changes. Direct participants to use I statements, not you statements. They should focus on specific behaviors and problems rather than people. Ask participants to restate what others have said. Summarize the conflict based on what you've heard and obtain agreement from participants. Brainstorm solutions. Discuss all options in a positive manner. Rule out options that participants agree are unworkable. And finally, assign further analysis of each option to individual participants. A workplace investigation is not an effort to prove or disprove allegations or to determine whether allegations are true. A workplace investigation uses allegations as a starting point to determine what happened or what is happening in a situation, simply to find the facts. A basic and agreeable tenet of workplace investigation is fact-finding. Workplace investigations reduces the chance of acting on incorrect or incomplete information. While people often think of investigations as large, disruptive, and costly, many investigations consist simply of interviewing witnesses with first-hand knowledge of what happened. Basic workplace investigations require the employer to talk with key witnesses to learn the facts and give the accused an opportunity to tell their side of the story. Workplace investigations depend on a neutral third-party approach. Investigations serve as visible evidence that the organization takes employee concerns, policy, and fairness seriously. Employee discipline refers to corrective action taken to change employee behavior and enforce organizational expectations. The first step to keeping employee discipline problems to a minimum is making sure that expectations are clearly communicated to employees. An employee discipline policy must be communicated to employees and should be included in any employee handbook. Progressive discipline generally includes a series of increasingly severe penalties for repeated offenses, typically beginning with counseling or a verbal warning. Discipline escalates to written warnings, suspension, and ultimately termination. Such procedures also help to ensure uniformity and consistency in the administration of disciplinary action, and thus minimizes exposure to discrimination claims. It's important to craft a system that ensures managers and supervisors have the flexibility to implement progressive discipline based on the seriousness of a particular issue at hand. Documentation is the foundation of managing employee discipline and performance issues. In any situation of employee performance or discipline, we must be poised to think about, write well, and then give well-crafted documentation to the employee. There are 3 critical rules of disciplinary documentation. 1. Just do it. The biggest problem for many employers is they simply don't document. So our first rule is also our simplest. Employees need to document. 2. Know your audience. While the employee is the primary audience, employers often fail to recognize that they're writing for a large and equally important secondary audience: agencies, lawyers, judges, and juries. 3rd, tell the story. The most important rule of documentation is telling the story, factually describing what happened and why it matters. For more information on these 3 rules, find Greg's 3 Rules of Disciplinary Documentation on the Greg Learning YouTube channel.